Why are the best CEOs in the world engineers? Why is it the most notable heads of companies always have a degree in some sort of engineering, whether electrical or mechanical? If this is something you have noticed, then this is the video for you. I'm going to explain why it is the best CEOs seem to be engineers. If you're not too familiar, why do I always do this? Let me get my rubber, one sec. If you're not familiar with some of these CEOs and who they may be, let me give you, you know, a little company called, what's it called again? I think they do like packages, I think. I actually used them like just now. I got a package from them a few hours ago. This company, the founder, Jeff Bezos, yeah, so he has a degree in engineering. And then there's also this other company. I wouldn't mind getting a car from them. They do some decent stuff. It's a bit like, I think, electric or something like that. It's weird. But yeah, this company as well. So the CEO, Elon Musk, yeah, he has a degree in engineering too. And then there's also this other company as well. Like the whole reason that we can even pretty much talk to each other through the camera, they do like Microsoft, yeah. So the current CEO, Satya Nadella, he has a degree in engineering too. And then there's also these other companies like they do chips, like not ketchup chips, like computer chips, like AMD. Yeah, Lisa Su, she's the CEO of AMD, and she has a degree in engineering also. Why is it that the biggest companies in the world, and not to mention like this guy, I think he makes Apple. That's it. So they make phones and stuff. So the CEO of Apple, yeah, they make phones. I thought it was fruit, but yeah, they make phones, and the CEO is Tim Cook. He has a degree in electrical engineering. So why is it that the biggest companies in the world, their board, their shareholders, it seems they've all had a meeting and they've said, okay, to take our company to the next level, we have to hire engineers. Before we break down why engineers actually are amazing CEOs, let's first Before we break down why engineers actually are amazing CEOs, let's break down what a CEO actually is. What is the definition of a CEO? So, CEO is Chief. E is Executive. And O is Officer. They are the Chief Executive Officer of their desired company. Now, the CEO is meant to be the highest operating person in the company. They are above the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. They are above the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer. They are above the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. Executive. Did I spell that wrong? I did spell that wrong. Executive. They make the decisions as to what the CMO, CFO, and COO will do. They are the highest operating officer. But it goes deeper than that. The CEO is the president. Now, of course, there can also be other designated presidents of a company, but when it comes to these multinational billion, trillion-dollar companies, the CEO is the figurehead. A company is a huge, massive ship. And if you remember back in the pirate days, what? There was a flag on the ship, or there was a masthead, whether a mermaid or a skull, brandishing the whole vision behind the company. That is the job of a CEO. A CEO is the visionary. A CEO is the spokesperson. A CEO is the one who is behind the helm, who is bringing people in, who is igniting vision and passion within their employees. The CEO is the spokesperson of a company. But then you may say, okay, so the CEO is the one who is going to be going on the keynotes, okay, going on to the interviews, the podcasts, really pushing the message behind the brand, behind the company, to what? Bring people in to whether work for them or to even buy from them. Okay, so the CEO is that. So how do we go from a CEO being somebody who must be able to speak well, to communicate well, to being engineers? Because I thought engineers are, quite introverted. Engineers, they're very technical only. They don't really like to speak with people. How is it we have 5 of the biggest companies in the world worth probably $20 trillion combined, and these type of people are running them? We need to go back. Engineers are what? Let's throw out some keywords of what you think engineers are and what they actually are. So number 1, let me get a blue pen. Engineers are very technical. Engineers have knowledge in their field, whether electrics or cars or phones. Engineers tend to be very focused when they are problem solving. Engineers are a whole myriad of these things. They're also very analytical. This is the definition of engineers and engineering. Very formulated, very focused on solving problems at hand. Like an algorithm, that's the word I was looking for, an algorithm. Everything is a formula, everything is an algorithm. The question is, how do we go from this to multinational CEOs now? I always say, one thing I always stress and say, a CEO is when you combine technical knowledge with communication. When you put these two things together, you have a CEO in your hands. And this is what the best CEOs in the world do. They combine their knowledge and years of experience in their industry, and they bring communication into that. Imagine if, let's say, Mark Zuckerberg. I recently made a post about Mark Zuckerberg and his transition from a 20-year-old dorm student in his dorm in Harvard. Did he go to Harvard? Was it Harvard? It was one of the top Ivy League universities. I made a video about his transition from that person to who he is now. I recently saw a keynote he gave, and the difference was night and day. That 20-year-old Mark was shy, robotic, reserved, very monotone. Shy wasn't even the word. Take out shy, the rest are true. Because he had confidence. He was confident in what he was building. He knew Facebook was going to be a hit, so he had confidence. But the way he delivered it was robotic, was monotone, was unengaging. I then was scrolling on, I believe, YouTube, And I saw a video of Mark giving a speech, a keynote, and the difference was night and day. Mark was expressive, expansive. He used tonal variety. He used facial expressions. He brought in all of these things. Now, Mark, as a person, is not the most expressive person. But the key thing is, he wasn't faking it. He just knew that in order to keep people engaged, in order for his message to be felt the most, he had to slightly tone up his expressive qualities. And what did I say before? It's an algorithm. It's a formula. I'm sure the way Mark thinks about it is, if I do X, I will get Y. If I tone up my vocal variety, I will get increased listeners. The best CEOs do this. It doesn't stop at CEOs. Presidents, politicians get trained on their communication style because they know how you are received is all to do with how you speak and how you come across. So we've said that in order for engineers to become CEOs, and how the other people before, the Elon Musks, the Satya Nadellas, the Elisa Sues, how they transitioned from, I'm sure, shy or unconfident or unexpressive students in engineering to heads of multinational companies, was they combined their background in all of these things, the problem solving, the engineering, the being analytical, the formulated thinking, and they added and sprinkled and trained their what? Their communication. Now, communication. Communication is a group. I don't like to say communication is one thing. Communication is like a conglomerate. We're speaking about companies. Let's say communication is like Berkshire Hathaway. If you don't know who they are, they own about 200 companies probably. This is communication. That's the big group. And then you have things branching off that group. Let me get the black pen now. Then you have things branching off that group. You have leadership is a branch of communication. You have tonality. That's a branch of communication. You have effective questioning. I'll just go questioning. That's a branch of communication. You have listening. There's probably 100 things. There's speaking. There's body language. There's an infinite amount of things. And best believe, these CEOs are getting trained on all of these. I can't stress enough how much of an important thing your communication is. The best CEOs in the world do this. And they are brilliant. They still find time to train these things. Because they know you will either rise or fall to how well you are able to communicate your ideas. And communication isn't just speaking, as I said. Communication is the ability to transfer your ideas to someone else in a way they will receive them the best. That is the difference between communication and speaking. By now you've realized why engineers are the best CEOs in the world, because they are able to combine their knowledge and expertise in the technical field, in the analytical field, and they are able to use communication. I just got distracted because I looked out my window and I think it's snowing. So apologies for getting distracted. But the best communicators, they're able to incorporate the things that happen around them as I just did. And I'm sure all these people, the Elon Musks, the Tim Cooks, the Jeff Bezoses, have done that. This has been how CEOs and why CEOs, the best in the world, are engineers. You can do this too. I'm imagining that you watching this video are in a similar position to maybe a Jeff Bezos or a Mark Zuckerberg 40 years ago, 20 years ago for Mark. I'm sure some of you are in your career, you've got the background in a technical field, yet you can't communicate your value like a CEO. When it comes to interviews, when it comes to potential public speaking opportunities, the nerves get the better of you. Channel your inner CEO. If you would like help channeling that inner CEO, then click the link in the description and me or my team will get back to you to see how we can help you communicate like one of the top 1% CEOs in the world.